all being here. We have an important topic today to talk about the potential of $125 billion in savings that has been ignored, and we're going to have a discussion about the review of the Department of Defense's efficiency study. On December 5th of 2016, the Washington Post reported on a Department of Defense study that found the Pentagon could potentially save $125 billion over 5 years on back-office non-combat expenses. The Post's story detailed the desire of DoD leadership to squelch the findings of the Defense Business Board, sometimes referred to as the DBB, but the Defense Business Board, for fear that Congress would ultimately end up cutting their budget. That's the concern. The DBB is an advisory board commissioned by the Pentagon to provide independent advice and recommendations with regard to governance and management at the Department of Defense. For this study, the Defense Business Board was charged with finding savings the Pentagon could recapitalize into more troops, more ships, and more planes. Enlisting the management consulting firm of McKinsey & Company, one of the premier consulting companies we have in this country, the DBB spent months analyzing the Pentagon's business systems and back-office operations. The result of the report concluded the Department of Defense could save billions from overhauling its back-office functions, including contract management, IT, business processes, real estate, and human resource management. These savings could be reinvested to better equip our men and women in uniform, but the Department of Defense leadership squelched the report. In response to the Post story, 31 members of this committee from both sides of the aisle signed a letter to then-Secretary Carter asking for answers. With the change in administrations, the urgent need for reform at the Pentagon has not changed. There are a number of statistics that tend to support the DBB's recommendation for rigorous oversight. First, the Pentagon continues to expand its use of contractors. From 2001 to 2015, the Department of Defense increased the number of civilian employees by roughly 14%. Compared to our men and women in uniform, government contractors are less likely to be subject to oversight of the Pentagon. Some of the government's most effective tools for holding its employees accountable are not available when it comes to contractors. Second, the Pentagon study noted the potential $125 billion savings could fund 50 Army brigades or 10 Navy carrier strike group deployments or 83 Air Force F-35 fighter wings. So while our troops are engaging in the enemy in Iraq and Syria and patrolling the South China Sea and really helping make sure that this world in the United States is a safe place, the Pentagon is resistant to back-office cuts that would better fund and equip these men and women who are doing the hard work on the front lines. Given how dangerous our world is, we really, truly have to get this right. And if we're going to ensure our troops are the best equipped possible, it is our responsibility to oversee how this money is expended. It is a lot of money. It's the single biggest line item in our discretionary spending budget. The Constitution delegates to Congress the role of providing the training and equipment of the Army and to, quote, maintain a Navy, end quote. It is our job to make sure that our warfighters are getting all the support that they need to do their job. So we have a very astute panel, and we look forward to having a discussion with them about this report and what can be done to save money at the Pentagon.